Namaste, Jai Bharat. The people of Bengal had opted for BJP. And Mamta's Bengal is suffering. Bengal has a culture. Bengal has a history. Bengal has history of great patriots. If you make an inventory of the hardcore nationalist Bengalis, the list will be too long. Right from ancient time to modern times. One of the last names in modern times, Maharishi Aurobindo itself, is much more than sufficient to say what Bengal originally is. And minus Bengali sanskar, minus Bengali culture, minus Bengali Sanskriti, Bengali is not Bengali. When Bengal was divided in 1905 as Hindu Bengal and Muslim Bengal, the Muslim Bengal, which is today East Bengal, that is Bangladesh, has lost at least 90% of Bengaliness. West Bengal retained. But the Sanskritic roots of Bengali is so strong that you just can wipe it out. The strength of Sanskriti, not just in Bengal, you look at Bharat. 1000 years of foreign domination, the Turks to British, 1000 years, had not damaged the Sanskriti of Bharat, which is Hindu Sanskriti, because it's Veda-Upanishadic Sanskriti, could not do beyond a point harm to this, and given any chance, it will revive itself. There will be resurgence in the most spontaneous and active manner. That had happened in Bharat. And even after the political independence, so-called, it took all these years for a cultural resurgence in Bharat, which is taking place in the last 10 years. Bengal has faced similar situations. The ruler Mamta, people call her sometimes Mamta Banu for all good reasons, had destroyed because of hooliganism. That's very strange. Because hooliganism. Who were not frustrated in Bengal? None. Every real Bengal was frustrated under the regime, but they were kept under such suppression. There was this Arthurian kind of fear and trembling in the minds of the people of Bengal. It's not just the people, it's the professors, the students, the bureaucrats, and the entire society, even a small trader. What the Gundas of Mamta did, that they simply snatch people's property, capture people's property. At times they will own it for themselves, and some other times they convert it into their political office, TMC's office. And they've closed down temples. In a state like Bengal, the Devi Ma's temple was closed down in pretext that there will be communal violence if the temple is opened. There will be communal violence if the temple is opened, and there shall not be any communal violence when the azan goes off from a temple, from a mosque, with so high decibels, with such loudspeakers. There will be no communal violence. Something suddenly comes to my mind. There is in Kerala, there is a constituency in the northernmost part where the former BJP state president Surendran was defeated in this recent elections by a Muslim candidate. I think he belongs to the communist group, but then there was Muslim consolidation. He had obtained much more vote than last time. Last time also he did not win because of the Muslim consolidation. The same kind of Muslim consolidation took place, and then I happened to hear this man, the person who won, speaking for secularism. Well, when it is in their court, it is secularism. When it comes to a Hindu, it's communalism. And this, I don't know the kind of voters who are there. There is Hindu consolidation, all right. That's how he gets more votes. But then, how about this? If a Muslim does, then it is secular. If a Hindu does, it is communal. Simple dichotomy. They do it in Kerala, not just in one place, in most places. This is my observation. I could be right, wrong, but I think my observation stands. So in Bengal, what happened is the temples were closed, properties of Hindus were snatched, girls were raped, they are lifted by the gundas, and most of them are Bangladeshi background people from Bangladesh. Infiltrators are plenty. They were given voter's card, identity card, whatever possible by the government, and the border was left open. The Mamata government did not give land for fencing the borders, letting it open for the Bangladeshis to come and go, because they want these Bangladeshis to vote for them. Created vote banks there, and these people have snatched. See, there are groups, gangs. There are so many names are there in the media. You can find out. They used to lift girls, rape them, and throw them. This used to go on for all these years of their rule, 15 years, I suppose. It continued, and this Gundism set in. So people were living in some kind of fear and trembling situation, as Sartre would say. Now the elections came. Elections are over. And interestingly, Mamata Bani refuses to leave the chair. She says, I am not defeated. Well, she declares that she is not defeated. Good. She is not going to leave the chair. I think tonight her tenure is finished and she cannot cling on to the chair. She says, I don't care for constitution, I don't care for election commission, I don't care for anything. I will not leave. That's what she says. Well, this is a height of immaturity. Of course, I've many times seen her speaking very immature terms. Very immature. Not just now, when she was a minister of Congress some time back. I was very young those days, and she was giving talks. I understand Bangla, so I can understand even if she speaks in Bengali. She was very immature kind of talk. Well, that's not the point. Now, the people have taken things into their hand. That's the point. People have taken things into their hands. They have opened all the temples, which were closed by Mamata, and started doing puja. Imagine. Bengal, they are Shaktites. They are worshippers of Mother Goddess. And it has an impact in society. In a place where Mother Goddess is worshipped, women are treated as Mother Goddess right from small children. In Bengali language, even the mother calls her small daughter Ma. That too sometimes Burima, old mother. So that is the culture in Bengal. They look at woman as mother. See, I used to say that our Bharatiya houses are mother-centered houses, not woman-centered houses. So feminism has no significance in Bharatiya society. I used to say that too, whenever it was called for. Bengal is an archetypical society in that sense. Even Tamil has that character, culture of calling small girls as Amma. And Bengal is called as Ma. Any woman is a Ma. Any one is a mother. And Bengalis have this strong sense of motherness, and they are Shaktites. Mother worshippers. We Hindus coexist with different kinds of worships. There are Shaktites, there are Vaishnavites, there are Shaivites, etc. And there are also a lot of Tantrics who would use everything. They would use everything, interestingly. And this coexistence is taught to us by Rigveda. Last sutta. Sangachatvam samvadam. Coexistence of the multiple and plural. So things are just spontaneously coexisting in Bharatiya Sanskriti. So in that society, Women are left and raped is impossible to think. Long back when I was traveling in flight, there was a girl sitting next to me. She said she's a Bengali and she said she's divorced in Calcutta. Then I was actually surprised. That's the first time I hear the divorce. She says there are so many divorces these days. Then I said, is it possible in Bengali society that divorces take place? It was a surprise to me. It's not quite possible as I understand the culture and that society. Now that in that such society, mass rape, you lift girls and go and do whatever you feel like. And what I hear is another shocking thing. Universities and colleges, they have their green rooms. Not that green room of studio. Green rooms, painted green, tablecloths green, everything green, where this Mamta's people, fundamentally Bangladeshi migrants, illegal immigrants, sit and plan which girls we will lift today. To that extent, closing down temples in Bharat, closing down, not allowing to worship. In this pretext, that this pretext can be 1000. And the people, after the election, when they came to know BJP got brutal majority, they did not wait for BJP to become take over from Mamta, form government. They did not wait for that. The people, they in their frustration came out the street. Their celebrations continued. It still continues. And they started retaliating. Common people who were kept under fear and trembling all these years came out. Their frustrations and helplessness came out, and they started violently reacting. Fundamentally, they opened all the temples, opened to worship, and worship started. Then they have brought bulldozers, God alone knows from where. They must have got lessons from UP. So they brought bulldozers from here and there, started destroying all the illegal occupation which the Mamta party made last in these 15 years. They have created their offices by capturing the property of somebody else or constructing something illegally. All this they started destroying. Somebody says one of them was claiming that 400 of their offices were destroyed. That means 400 of their offices were illegally constructed, which had no legal sanction. And the goons maintained by that regime, they started running away. And incidentally, there were so many illegal immigrants in Bangladesh, especially in the bordering districts. They started going away voluntarily. I have seen some bites, some clips. Somebody was talking to them, why are you going back? They said, we came back with nothing. I mean, nothing in the sense, with no authority. We have no identity. Some people have got Aadhaar cards. Some people say that we have Aadhaar cards, but we did not get voter cards. Some people have got both. So they could stay here. But they understand that people know who they are in their localities, and the people would force them to go. And before the people really started forcing them to go, they started living voluntarily, going back to Bangladesh. And the Bangladesh minister said that we are going to have a refugee problem back from Bharat. They are not refugees, they are returning refugees. The refugees, they came to Bharat as refugees, both the communist government in the past, much before Mamta, the past, and she herself used to welcome these people, give them voters card and win elections, because these were sure vote banks for them. Now they are going back. So Bengal, the Orient Bengal is in for a cleaning operation. At least people in Bengal are not acting like the Jamaat-e-Islami in Bangladesh acting, burning Hindus alive. They were seeing it and watching it, and they haven't gone to that kind of brutalities. They are only beating up the selected gundas. I think they are beating up stories I haven't seen, but I just assume. I think they are handling the gundas only. not the women, as Bangladeshis have done. For the atrocities the Bangladeshi Jamaatis had inflicted on the Hindus in Bengal, in Bangladesh, Bengal should have reacted in a much more violent way. Imagine, this is done not by any government, this is done simply by the people, and when people are on a rampage, nothing can be done at once. And interestingly, the bureaucracy must be in step with them. The bureaucracy must be giving them data of illegal occupation, otherwise they won't be able to get it to that extent, possibly. So because the bureaucracy was frustrated under Mamata regime. I've seen some clips of people in uniform dancing. Could be central forces, could be local police, I don't know, or I don't want to comment. They were dancing because the structure in the state was threatened under the Gunda regime. Under such regime, they could not work. Normally, Bengalis are not corrupt as the corruption you find in other places. Normally, they are not corrupt. And the very cultured people. And they retain their Bengaliness, come what may. So they must be reacting. And this is not very organized. Not organized, but locally organized. This is a retaliation. Now, once the government is formed, we don't know who shall be the chief minister. Once the other ministers, everything is done, government is formed, minister, everything is determined, there will be an organized law and order. That's what I want to say. There shall be law and order in place. There shall be law and order in place. Till now, Bengal was lawless for a real long time. Let's hope that Bengal shall be Bengal of Bangin Chandra, Sharat Chandra, Sri Aurobindo, Maharshi Aurobindo, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda. That is the Bengal I know, and that's the Bengal which I would like to see. We shall meet again. Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.